channel, subscribe. Number 2, we'd like to thank our sponsors for this show. Gulf South Productions, Daniel Zada and the team for all events, concerts. They throw the big events. They do it right. Check out Gulf South Productions. Golden Gulf Insurance Services, property, casualty, home, auto. We got you. 228-207-0298. Match Spy Appointment Gautier. 228-623-7230. 50 to 8% off. We got you covered on mattresses. We're locally owned and operated. Hops and Growlers. Scott, you want good beer. If you've never been to Hops and Growlers, original local beer, Hops and Growlers, downtown Ocean Springs, you got to check them out. And finally, Loxicom. Pete and the boys will take care of you. You want a smart house like that Disney movie? They're the people to see.
What's what the Disney smart house thing?
So you remember the show, right?
I don't.
Smart House. It's right after us.
The
It really was. How old were, I mean, the Smart House probably came out.
Probably 10, huh?
No, after that. Garrett.
When
did Smart House come out?
Young Garrett, look that up.
Had the mom from Married with Children.
Peg?
Okay.
Yeah.
Peg Bundy?
Peggy. Smart House.
She's been in so much stuff. So she was on Sons of Anarchy.
Oh, really? I never watched that one.
Me either. I just remember seeing her on it. And then she was in Futurama.
Oh, look, Garrett's looking it up for real.
Yeah.
Damn. Dedication.
Yeah.
99.
99.
How old were we at 99?
I think I was done with Disney by 99.
Not bad.
I'm not a mathematician.
Anyway, Smart House, home automation.
Okay.
Pete Jones and the boys, Loxicom.
She got super mad and like started taking control of the house, which I could see that happening everywhere in the future.
Yeah. Okay.
But they home automation. They put your air conditioning on whatever you want it to be on.
What was your favorite Disney movie? Not like that went to theaters. I'm talking the ones that were like the Friday night.
At home movies?
Yeah, that Disney at home movies.
Oh, I don't even remember.
I know they're all like
Tsunami
I can't separate the category. I don't think like they're all.
I mean, if we're just talking Disney, it's Lion King, hands down. Like not even a
The
question.
new one?
No, the old one.
Okay.
Of course, not the new one. Are you
Mufasa.
kidding me? I
didn't
did
see
see
that.
the new one. I mean, it was okay.
I didn't see it.
I did. It was.
That's
good.
one good thing about having a 2-year-old, man, is you get to rewatch some of that stuff and not feel bad about it.
Does it have different meaning now?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I see. I like to watch a good Pixar movie. I still like to have adult jokes sometimes.
Yeah, man.
But how about Blimpy? Are you on Blimpy yet?
No, I don't know anything about that.
Oh, good luck.
Bluey?
Blimpy.
Oh, Blimpy. I don't know. Blue. We watched a couple episodes of Bluey, but yeah, not Blimpy. I
No,
haven't
he's
heard of
just
that
like
one.
he's this guy that started his YouTube channel that does like the color red, and he like points at like a red
Oh, yeah.
fire hydrant.
Oh, okay. No, we haven't
But
made it there.
He has millions of views. Now he has like a double ganger that goes around to like Coliseum and sells out shows.
It's been mostly to start out with Sesame Street, that kind of stuff, numbers and that kind of stuff. And then now we just kind of got to where she's got kind of a long enough attention span to sit down and watch a movie. If you do it in we watched Frozen this past weekend, which was
Nice.
delightful. Yeah. So at work on Monday, I was walking around singing "Cold Never Bothered Me Anyway." Everybody was like, "What the fuck is this guy doing?"
Just watching a little Frozen
Hey,
with my daughter,
just,
man.
Just watching Frozen with my little girl.
Yeah.
Whatever. Everything's
I
good.
love it.
There it goes. And then all of a sudden you get the dresses.
Yeah. Yeah, man.
You see it now. I mean, like I think Oliver, he'll go back between Spider-Man. Right now it's Spider-Man, Santa Claus. He just got into the he just got into the new Tim Allen
The
Santa
Tim
Claus.
Allen ones.
Oh, okay.
I saw that they dropped something else on Disney Plus with him on it.
That's it. It's a series.
It's a series.
Yeah.
He's on it.
Yeah.
Or you were talking about Sesame Street. So is there any Sesame Street characters back then that aren't around now?
I don't know. We watched the first, so there. I don't know if y'all know this. I didn't know this until my daughter came along. We started watching it. There's like 45 seasons of that show. It's been on since the 70s.
Yeah.
So
Jim
we went,
Henson.
we went back and watched like the first part of the first episode, and it was real fucking weird. So
Really?
yeah, it was very strange. But
So y'all started
It's a
around
weird-
like
it's a
season
weird show.
30.
yeah, yeah.
Skip ahead. It's taught a lot of kids. I guess it's been on PBS. It's on PBS.
Yeah.
Where did y'all find it?
So it's on HBO.
Okay.
HBO Go.
All of them.
Yeah, like every one of them. which is
45
insane.
seasons.
Yeah, or 40 or 45.
How many episodes
is-
per season?
Who's
I don't
actually
know,
Big
a
Bird?
bunch.
Garrett.
I don't know.
There's got to be like that one character because I didn't get really big into Sesame Street. I ain't gonna lie.
I didn't either, but just I don't
I
know.
remember watching it at school when they were kids or in like summer camps or whatever. Like that was about it. I didn't watch it at home.
Yeah.
Mom and dad had me on that Christian learning.
Yeah, well, that's probably what I was on too at Sacred Heart.
Yeah. Hey, hit that intro, Garrett.
I think Garrett's still there. He's there. No, I mean, I just never got. I have a chair fetish.
Okay.
And my name's Jason.
You have my interest.
Okay. I have a bunch of chairs that I've been collecting. So the skit that I'm working on.
Wait, are you talking about in real life or in the skit?
That's going to be a skit.
Oh, okay. I thought you were talking about in real life. I was like, okay,
my character.
Let's talk about this.
Cheers.
So my character's Jason Bowden, and I have a chair fetish, and I'm a collector.
Okay.
Tell me where the name got inspiration.
The time I ran on four wheelers, I think we were me, you, and Joe, and a bunch of us at Tommy Broadnack's property, and we got in trouble by Tommy Broadnack's, and he asked for my name, and I told him my name was Jason Bowden.
Okay.
So that's your alias.
This is my alias.
Rusty Shackelford. Okay. I like it.
All right. All right.
I mean, it just rolls off the tongue.
So we were working on the knife skit one. That's one, the gas station knives. Yeah. But we still haven't come to fruition on the final filming, but we're kind of getting to where it needs to happen. So we need to pick back up where
we got to build a set for that.
Yeah.
That's the thing is when we get into the complicated, we have to build
or go film on location.
Could Adam Fan let us use his storefront?
It's possible. It's possible.
Yeah, absolutely. I know people with stores.
It would be great because you do that one-on-one, like I was doing, like the confession, like real world, like have a chair fetish guy. That's easier because there's green screen. Brooks can run the camera and we can go back and forth with sayings. But like when you get into the having a counter and you got to do, put more props in there, it's a lot.
Okay. I'll take your word for it. I've never tried to make any videos.
Have you ever wanted to do a skit?
Not really, but I mean, I don't know. I'd be open to it. I don't really care.
Okay.
I feel like we used to film a lot back in the day. I remember, right? So Hunter, every now and again, Hunter and Nick will release these videos that whenever we were kids, they used to follow us around with video cameras and we didn't even know it. And then there'll be this video that they've mixed and it's like us whenever we were rearing, like at a party that we didn't know we were on.
So somebody told me that just like a month ago, somebody from high school that hadn't seen a year. I can't remember who the heck it was, but anyway, I ran into him the first time in years and he was like, "Man, how you been? It's good to see you." And he said, "I just so happened like a month ago, found this VHS tape from whenever I think we did like a scavenger hunt for the football team, or I don't know, but we were, 16 acting real dumb. And
you can only imagine.
He like said a couple of things from the video, and I was like, God, I vaguely remember that. And the first thing I said was that video needs to be burned.
Yeah. Can I see it? Stomp it on real fast.
Immediately.
You won't get canceled. You'll be fine.
Yeah, no, we're sure.
They can cancel me. I'm a nobody.
Anyway, hey everyone, welcome back to another episode of Kathy and Susie's Kids. I'm back from vacation. I'm Matthew.
And I'm Jordan.
And we're here with our good friend Josh Covacevich.
He's like family because he is from St. Martin.
Yeah,
Sting.
Absolutely.
St. Martin's growing and growing.
I mean, yeah, it's way bigger than it was when we were there.
You know what I'm saying?
I think it's 6
As we get
now.
older, we start all of us like.
I have come to appreciate, the few people that I do hang out with from St. Martin are all doing things.
Like I've seen
that puts us on the map.
We did Neptunes. It was Matt Parker, Richard, Huey, everybody all together. It's just cool.
Yeah, absolutely.
You just see everybody from St. Martin.
Richard was actually at the chamber Christmas party. I just was hang out with him.
Did he eat a bunch of fruit?
I did not see him eat at all.
So Richard does his diet of he's a frutivore, and he fasts.
Okay.
Frugivore.
Frugivore.
Okay.
So he'll fast for like 4 days, and he only eats fruits.
That's insane. That's insane.
He only eats fruits
With seeds. No.
I can barely fast like 4 hours.
Yeah, I can't even do that.
I can't either.
I woke up the other day and we were up there in Gatlinburg and my stomach was going absolutely crazy. And I'd only been away for maybe like 2 hours and I had eaten a big dinner the night before and it was hunger. And
that's probably why we're in such tip-top physical.
I feel the
You know
exact
what I
same. Yeah.
I mean, we are the models of the human specimen.
Look, I'm in shape.
Dad bod. That's the best.
Well, I have a kid, so
Yeah.
Here's my thing is when I think about not eating, I want to eat more.
Yeah.
So if I'm like, you know what, I'm going to cut it back, then I eat a pizza.
Well, Kevin was on the other day talking about doing his intermittent fasting or
Well, I think
intermittent
Kevin and Richard
fasting.
are kind of linked in with that.
And he says he goes like,
Kevin,
McMahon,
Okay.
the archaeologist.
Yeah.
He says he goes like 16, 17 hours without eating, and then he'll slowly work into his fast, and he eats one time a day. So he's lost like 20, 30 pounds, maybe more.
That's cool.
Yeah, I couldn't imagine, like, if I miss a meal, I'm going white and pale and like fluttering and like.
Yeah, what's the point?
Have you ever done a diet before?
Have I? Yeah, I mean, absolutely.
Name a diet that you love.
What? I don't love any of them. Nobody loves a friggin' diet. I mean, and clearly I haven't done any lately. So, no, I have no idea, man. The only one that really, like, whenever my dad had open heart surgery about 3.5 years ago, I believe, maybe 4 years ago, that kind of scared me a little bit, obviously. So I started watching when I was eating and exercising a lot. That was during COVID, actually, I think. And, or maybe right before COVID. Yeah, right before COVID. But, and I was doing really well on that one. And then after COVID, I got the job at Ingles and also own a business, and then had a daughter. So now I have a 2-year-old running around, and that whole thing just kind of went out the window.
So I remember like my mom being on these diets whenever I was a kid, and she would have like this 3-ring binder, and she'd be writing down like what she ate or what she was allowed to eat. I think she tried multiple. I don't know, Mom, if you're out there, let us know. But I've never done anything that was that strict. I've always been, I mean, clearly, but yeah, back to like do what you want when you want to eat what you want. I'll probably pay the price for it when it's all said and done.
I think just doing it slow, but I don't know. I did meal prepping for probably 5 months, and it was just that last month, everything got dark. Like I was eating three meals a day. I mean,
of the same thing.
Yeah, and it just started getting dark. Like
I can't do that. I can't even eat. I can eat leftovers twice in a row.
And let me be honest with this. I was outside of Wendy's, which I can eat some Wendy's.
Okay.
But I hadn't had any fast food for a long time. And it's like I was in the parking lot.
You were jonesing, man.
For like 10 minutes, deciding should I go into Wendy's.
Did you shame yourself out of it? Or
no, I went in. I got 2 junior bacon cheeseburgers. And I got I got a large fry and 2 things of honey mustard.
Nice.
That's it. That's restraint, dude.
Well,
I remember when we were kids, me and Josh would go to Taco Bell. Shout out. And my meal would always be like $7 or $8, and Josh would be like 25.
And nowadays it would be 45.
What do you get? What's your Taco Bell order like?
Oh man, I usually go with the quesadilla meal these days, chicken quesadilla meal, maybe with throw a chalupa in there. Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
So I do the
I try to reserve that nowadays for like
special occasions.
By special occasions when I've had 6 or 8 cocktails and I'm on the way home.
I do the number 6, the 2 chalupa chickens.
Yeah,
nacho cheese, no sour cream.
That's a good one.
And then I replaced the hard taco for a Dorito taco. You can do that.
Yeah, this is good podcast material. I'd listen to this.
Yeah, absolutely.
I need to know what everybody eats at Taco Bell.
I'm basic. I get the same thing every time I go. I think I've talked about it before. It's 3 salt tacos, regular, and then order nachos and cheese. Yeah.
I think everybody. I mean, you get comfortable with your foods.
Yeah.
I mean, you just like I go with a Big Mac. You know, there's every place you eat fast food. Well, we're talking a lot of fast food.
Humans are creatures of habit, right? And they say that once you find it, like, when's the last time you switched deodorant?
It's been like since I was about 16. Probably.
Yeah, exactly. Like I'm feeling the same. Toothpaste, same way, about the same stuff.
Emily sneaks in that with this organic stuff to me now.
Oh yeah, does that work?
No,
I'm a very. I was gonna say I'm a very burly. Let's be honest.
I'm a degree guy. I like the regular degree.
Yeah, that's what I use.
So it's the regular degree, but she'll slide in with this like organic, different kind of way more expensive deodorant. It just doesn't work.
Yeah, you still smell.
But
bad.
Right now I ran out today, so I have to use it.
Yeah,
till tomorrow.
It'll always be tomorrow. Yeah. So Josh, what's been up with the shipbuilding, man? You enjoying this? Or?
Yeah, so I am, man. I guess it's been a while. Yeah, and so I've been on here this podcast. I was on here a couple years ago, but you guys had been up all night the night before. I think it was y'all were on some kind of charity event, maybe like something for kids. Y'all had stayed up late the night before, something.
Sounds right.
So yeah, so we ended up not airing that one. But yeah, since last time I was on, I took a job at Ingles doing contracts administration, negotiating against the Navy, local soup ship here, for the destroyer programs, and I really enjoy it, man. I mean, it's a job. Like any job, but I enjoy it. I basically, whenever they want to do changes to the ships, the destroyers anyway. And whenever they want to order, the Navy wants to order a new batch of destroyers, we actually just submitted a proposal here recently for the next either 4, 5, or 6. They come talk to me and my little team, and we.
So you're kind of like a Mercedes car salesman. You sell ships.
Essential. That's like
cool.
That's a very small part. Yeah, that's a very I'm involved with the selling of whole ships, but a lot of what I do on day-to-day basis is mostly like if they want to change this kind of gun or this kind of sonar system or whatever to a different kind, it goes through our process.
Does it happen a lot?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, it happens an insane amount.
Here's a real question. How many guns does a ship have to have before it's considered a destroyer? Because badass name.
That's a good question.
It is. No, so it's just like a totally different, its own class of ship. It really doesn't matter how many guns are on it, but there are quite a few.
Okay. Because I feel like if I owned a ship, it'd be a destroyer right off the bat.
Yeah, without a doubt.
Even if it wasn't.
Yeah. But yeah, no, they've got quite a few on there. But
do they ever get like extreme with you or like, you know what, I want a digital camo the whole ship? And y'all are almost done on production.
No.
The ship's done and they're like, I want a new skin on it.
Yeah, no, it doesn't get that crazy. They do try to push some stuff over last minute. That happens quite a bit. And then sometimes we tell them no, like, hey, we either tell them no, or sometimes we say, yeah, we can do it, but it's going to cost $14 million to change this little small thing. And then they go, oh wait, never mind.
So a destroyer is what, a $200 million ship, $100 million ship?
No, closer to like 800 or 900 million.
Wow.
Yeah.
So Ingalls is building. You're saying you're subbing out 6. You're doing 6 at a time in contracts, or?
So right now we have. Let's see. We just delivered 123 last week. I was at the delivery, but we're still working on that. It's like post delivery contractually, which is what I do. We've delivered it, but it's still at our shipyard and we're doing things. So we've got that one. We got let's see. We got about 7 that we're currently working on right now. And some of those are just in the engineering. They're not actually turning wrenches on them, but they're still doing a lot of work.
I'm no mathematician, but 7 different boats that are valued at $900 million each.
$1 billion.
Yeah. And that's just the one program,
Right.
I mean, they've also got, they build.
So that's just kind of the impact here that this local shipbuilding company has on the coast. My dad used to work there, and I know a lot of people that's watching probably have family that's worked there.
What's amenities though? I mean, like how big is these boats?
So they're about 700 or 800 foot long we build different classes of ships. We build some that are smaller. We build some Coast Guard vessels that are,
Are they nice like a cruise ship?
No. So they're built for war 100%. I mean, like when you get on them, and I've only been on them a couple of times. I work at Ingalls. I don't work in the shipyard. I work out in the offices. I've been on the ships a couple of times, and it's usually like week before last, I went out for the delivery, which is, the news cameras came out, the VPs and a couple of the colonels were out there. We shook hands, and they did put on a little show, that kind of stuff. But I'm not like out on that kind of thing. But I'm not out on the ships very often at all. But no, they're very much just built for a purpose.
Do they break a champagne bottle over the ship?
So I think that they do actually, but they don't do that at the contractual delivery. They do that before they sail away.
They put it in the water.
I've never been. Well, they've been in the water.
Okay, they've been in the water.
Yeah, yeah. So once they lay the keel, and then after that, they put them. Do a little bit more after that, but they put them in the water.
Do you know the number of people that it takes to build one of them ships?
Oh, a lot. Yeah, I don't know the number, but it's like hundreds of thousands of hours of man hours for each ship.
People we all know and grew up with.
Yeah, there's quite a few. I run into people out there all the time, just because there's like a little cafeteria area out there. There's a few of them actually.
Where the health foods are.
Exactly. There's a few of them out there actually, but the one that's like north of the gate, as we say, not actually where they build the ships, but in the office areas. I run into people all the time that I'm just like, hey, what are you doing out here?
Fascinating.
So what's fascinating to me is, like, for those of you who don't know that's watching, Josh's family has had an extensive background and history of shipbuilding. And then here you are doing it at a different aspect later in your life. And
it's kind of just, I don't know, man. It just makes sense to me. It's kind of in my blood.
The Covacevich shipyard.
Garrett, can we try to find that? Do we have any? Is there any on the internet?
Yeah, there is some. It's
pull up some of those boats. They're pretty badass, the luggers.
Yeah, it's getting harder and harder to find, but they're definitely out there. So yeah, they built my family, starting with my great grandfather on my mom's side. They started building wooden ships down here. They invented the design for the schooner, and started with sailboats, wooden sailboats, and then worked their way up to doing steel hulls. And then I believe in the 80s, if I remember correctly from the history I've seen, which obviously I'm the same age as you guys, so this was kind of before my time really, but the mid 80s or so, we stopped building ships and then went over to just a haul up yard. So that's what I remember as a kid. You know, I grew up, the shipyard was kind of like my daycare across the street at my grandparents' house. Me and Joe Robbie running around, my cousins running around down there. And that's what it was in those days, was just a haul up yard. But yeah, it just makes sense. Plus I've been, born and raised on the water since I can remember. And
Do you have one of the boats?
I don't, man. That's one of my like lifelong goals, honestly, is to buy one, because
There they are right there.
yeah, there's less and less of them. And
Yeah, these are what? These are made in the 60s, 50s.
so they made all the way from 1900 ish until like I said, I think the last one that we actually built
Ooh,
was
that's
That's the
nice.
last one I saw. I remember seeing that.
yeah, that one, when I saw it, man, I almost went and bought that damn thing because it was very reasonably priced. But the problem is on those old wooden hulls like that, the maintenance and the work, you have to have, not anybody can go out there and do that kind of work. You have to have extremely skilled labor.
Poor
and
person who knows how to scuba dive.
very, very expensive. So that's
That might be one of our purchases later in
That's
life.
something.
It's still on the bucket list. Yeah.
that's
bucket
definitely,
list.
it's
Would it
really,
be cool?
really is a shame that nobody in our family owns one of those
It'd
holes.
be
'cause
cool
there's
if we
not a whole lot
had
left.
a boat with his last name.
Yeah.
That'd be cool to me.
Yeah, so that's one of my lifetime goals is to
Or to put a bunch of guns on it and call it a destroyer.
a destroyer / schooner. Yeah.
So when you've been speaking of destroying, guys, Josh is an avid speckled trout fisherman.
I try to be.
You more so what 3 years ago when you were going every day?
Man, I was just about to say definitely more so a couple years ago whenever I was going 4 or 5 days a week. But I still get out there. I would say I try to get out there a couple times a week, at least once a week, depending on the weather. But yeah, man, it's really what I love to do. It's like if I could do anything with my time, the couple things would be chase speckled trout and go deer hunting on occasion. And have some drinks with my buddies, of course, but you can do that while doing those other two things.
Yeah, then it gets even better.
So when did you really get into doing speckled trout?
So I mean,
more of a love.
yeah. So I mean, I grew up fishing. My dad started me on that when I was like could barely talk, with cane poles, just brim, that kind of stuff. But I guess whenever I was, I grew up in Langley Point on the north side of the bay. And
Shout out Langley Point.
Shout out Langley Point, baby. And so trying our best to catch speckled trout back in those days, and we used to catch them at night off of the piers, my buddy's piers, that kind of stuff. But growing up, I was never that great at it. My dad and I would go to Chandelier Islands, and every now and then we would mess around and accidentally catch some. And then as I got older, I just started going a lot, man. I would go a lot at night, even before I had my own boat. Several nights a week, I would just go when the sun would go down and just go fish lights here, fish lights there. And then I bought a little junky skiff for, $1,800 or something like that.
Boat.
Yeah, something to get me out there. Actually, I got a kayak first, started kayak fishing, and
I remember the kayak.
yeah, and then kind of worked my way up, and now I bought a little Palm Beach from my buddy Kyle Johnson at Coastal Waters.
Shout out.
Yeah, shout out old Kyle. And so I've been running that bad boy for a while, but yeah, I don't know, man. It just kind of became an obsession, honestly. I got to the point where catching them is not really that difficult. I mean, any given time that you go out, doesn't matter how good you are, you may not catch speckled trout, period. But most of the time I can go out and catch speckled trout, but it got to the point where I want to catch one really big fish. So that's kind of like my chase that I'm on now.
And it's just a release.
Yeah. I usually release them. I do keep some and eat them every now and then, but I just, I don't like eating fish enough to eat all the ones that I catch. You know what I mean? So,
I like to give it away. I mean, I don't like cleaning the fish, but whenever we do get into them, it's always fun for me to bring Robert and Kathy some fish, some fillets.
Right.
Man,
You're the same way with deer meat too, right?
Yeah. Same.
yeah.
I give a lot of that away.
I'm grateful for you.
Yeah,
We're
I mean
out.
that, but the half the passion, like you said earlier, is just going out there and hanging out with your boys.
yeah. And
That
for
makes
me,
it-
nowadays,
more fun.
man, I don't even really, for the most part, sounds bad. And I know people complain all the time, you being one of them, like, man, you never call me whenever you go. It's because honestly, I'm to the point now where, I own a business. I have another full-time job out at Ingalls. I got a 2-year-old daughter. It's really like almost meditation type time to
Yeah.
me, to get out there by myself in the quiet, in the outdoors for a few hours and just
What do you
have
listen to?
no distractions. I listen to nature, man. I don't listen
No
to anything.
music.
I mean, I listen to music when I'm on the boat on the way out there. But once I get in the water and start wade fishing,
Got to hear the fish.
Yeah, you got to hear that. You got to be one with everything.
No cell phone.
I mean, I'll have my cell phone like in my little floating thing, but yeah, and that was one really cool thing about like especially during COVID, whenever I was fishing 4 days a week, you know, I had my shops were open for most of that time. The government shut us down for a while, like they did everybody, but
Boo.
But
So what are these shops?
So I own 3 vape shops, e-cigarette and vape shops on the Gulf Coast called Smoke Screen. I got one in Gautier.
And I put the link in the
Gulfport.
bio, guys. So
Oh,
hit
did
'em
you?
up.
Oh, well, thank you. I appreciate that.
I think it's Smoke Screen LLC.
Yeah, Smoke Screen
Okay.
LLC, and one in Long Beach.
Go
So
support Josh because he is local.
yeah. And so during that time, it was really nice, man, because you know I have really good managers in place. Kind of by design, the first few years, I was getting to know things and kind of tweaking things, getting them the way that I wanted, getting good people in place. But the plan was always to phase myself out. And I've been very successful in that, so much so that now whenever I'm around, I just kind of get in the way, to be honest with you. So there was a time there when I realized that, and I was like, oh, they don't need me around. Quite the contrary, actually. So my cell phone works at Horn Island. I was like, well, if y'all need me, I'll be wade fishing. And then if something happened with the business, I'll pick up my phone.
In the
and
vape
handle it.
world, it's like a family in itself. A lot of I see
It
the
can
shops,
be.
Smoke Screen shops. There's a different.
Oh yeah, yeah.
It's like I wouldn't say the word gang.
Well, and there's
but
a lot of
kind of.
Wait a minute. I need to know more
Gang-
about this. Yeah.
So there's different like vape shops. There's
Are
like,
they just loyalty? Is that what
it's
you're
like
talking
football
Wait.
teams.
Yeah, he means like there's
like territorial?
Oh, there's tournaments.
Wait, I've
He-
seen the
I think-
vape.
I think he means more like there's like different brands that have like a lot of locations, right? Or do you literally mean like
Oh no, I'm saying there's
Like,
different like
smoking for pinks.
I'm saying there's different like companies, and probably not around here as much, but like other brands.
Okay.
Pink Sheets got me?
Yeah.
I like that.
But there's other brands like different companies, and they're all hang out and do competitions. There is a
Oh, yeah.
vape competition.
Yeah. And
I do know I enjoy
Yeah.
a good Instagram like reel where there's dudes blowing mad vape
How do they
clouds.
do that?
I honestly have no idea.
They're so
idea.
large.
I have no clue.
Micah Shepherd used to blow massive vape clouds.
I mean, now granted, they're using a different thing than most of the people you see, like the jewels, which I guess people aren't really using those anymore, but like you can't do that with those kind of things. So they were using the crazy tricked out
I got a
ones.
better example.
Yeah, the ones that are made for that kind
Can
of
you
shit.
sell extra pieces to your vape to trick it out? Like
Yeah, we
little bling.
Yeah, we
No,
saw,
vape
we
bling.
saw all
They
that
make
shit,
like
man.
handmade vape. It's like,
Oh yeah.
oh, it's expensive.
I don't even know how to do that, to be honest with you. But some of those guys like build their own
a
stuff from
lightsaber.
scratch, essentially.
There was
yeah.
a which I don't talk to him as much anymore, but David Wynn, shout out to David if you're listening. Me and him were in the Honda Ruckus scene together.
Okay.
And David and his friend.
There's a Honda Ruckus scene.
Yeah. It's California and it's like Florida. It's just
Gangs.
gang.
Now that's
Racing
a
for
gang.
pinks.
That's a gang right there.
But
Y'all are
David
basically sons of
David
anarchy, but on
owned this
Ruckuses.
vape shop in Seattle,
Okay.
but it's like 7,000 square foot, and he started it in 2011.
Okay.
And then they started getting like CNC machines, making custom parts and mods, and they started manufacturing.
So there are mods.
Liquids, and
Yeah.
he went from like a shop to like being where people
Kingpin.
Josh can sell his products.
Right.
But the money, that dude it was insane. Overnight
Yeah, and
success.
It's been very good. It's been very good to me, man. It was honestly the best career move that I ever made was buying that business. And but you know, now it's kind of getting to the point where there's just so much competition that it's hard for a brick and mortar shop like the 3 that I have. Because I mean, nowadays we can leave here and go to the first gas station from your house, and we can go buy some sort of
Oh, 100%.
vape device. I mean, it's literally everywhere. Not to mention there are 6 or 8 times as many like vape shops like mine
Yeah.
on the coast than there were when
You
I
just
bought
got to start
this.
working
Where's your
the
location? I know
racket.
you got Gautier by my match store.
Yeah, so I've got one on Gautier Vancleave Road, one on Highway
That was the
49.
first one, right?
That was the first one. That was the first one on the whole coast.
So,
First vape shop
so
on the
me
whole
and
coast.
Micah Shepherd, shout out to my ex-roommate. I bought my house in Hickory Hills. And right when I bought it, Micah moved in, and me and him just stumbled across. We're like, you know what? Let's start vaping. Let's
Oh.
give up cigarettes. At the time I was smoking Parliaments.
Mhm.
P-Funks.
Yeah. And me and Micah went over there, and right when they opened, we bought like they had the tanks with the little cloth little whatever. I forgot how the tanks were. They were a lot cheaper than they were now.
Right.
It was right when they first opened, and we
Yeah.
just got into it. I remember getting like a Starburst or a Skittle flavor.
Yeah, and I mean it works, man, if you get it set up right. And that's the thing is whenever I first bought the places, I was smoking pretty heavily at the time. I was, stress will do it to you. I'd been smoking for quite some time, and I would run around between all my 3 shops, you know, driving across the whole coast, and I would smoke in the truck on the way. And when I would get there, I remember a couple of girls that worked for me, I would walk in, they go, "You smell like shit." Like my employees. And I go, "What do you mean? You smell like shit. You realize you own everything in here. Like, let us show you what to do. Stop smoking." And I was like, "Okay, you're right. This is ridiculous." So I got them to set me up with one that had like enough nicotine. And
oh, you were smoking cigarettes when you
oh yeah, absolutely.
Oh, that's hard right there.
Yeah. I mean, it was ridiculous, but I didn't know anything about it when I bought it. Honestly, the money was right is the reason why I bought it. I mean, I did a lot of research. Don't get me wrong, particularly because of.
Plus, you can't get high on your own supply, so that wasn't even in your thought process at first.
Right. So, but yeah, they got me on that, and then I don't think I've had like 1 or 2 cigarettes since. You know what I mean?
I mean, they're always every now and then a few beers.
So is most vapors ex-smokers, or
a lot of them? Yeah,
there's probably a good number of them that just started it up.
A good portion of them are ex-smokers. Some of them, the guys that are blowing the big clouds, like you're talking about. Some of them maybe not. I don't really know. But
they're
just looking for their path.
Yeah, exactly. Just trying to find their path.
I wanted to break away from smoking as much as I was.
Yeah.
Because I got to the point where I got tired of waking up and like my throat was hurting.
Mm-hmm.
Like I just like, you know, rough night out. And it's like you smoke a pack.
Yeah, I feel like you got an elephant standing on the chest.
When I started doing the vaping, believe it or not, I didn't have that. I mean,
oh yeah.
I'd be like, me and Micah had this. He went a little further than I did, because then I went from like this like 5.5 battery to where Micah and Ryan Bowden were having these mods that had
they were the size of these microphones.
Yeah, and they just make all kinds of noise and stuff, and they know all the ranges and levels. And all I was doing was buying tanks from you, putting the pins together. When I'm out, I got another one.
Yeah.
But they got serious.
Yeah, but it's been good to me, man. It's definitely been it was a big risk for sure, but it was one of those things. At that time in my life, to be honest with you, I was pretty broke, and I was starting out. You know what I mean? I was like, what's the worst that could happen? I lose all this money,
nothing.
I lose all this nothing that I have. Like, take a chance, man. Just make it work. And luckily, because of my little bit of slight amount of business expertise with my law background and with my business brokerage background, I was able to do like all the closing documents. I drafted all those myself, that kind of stuff. And I was actually the selling broker for the business I ended up buying, which is, we had to do all kinds of waivers and get around
that way too.
But yeah. So essentially, like, my fee, since I was a selling broker, the way we worked it out was I was a selling broker and I ended up buying it. So what we did was we contracted out to where what would have been my fee, because we'd already had a contract saying if this business gets sold with me listing it, I get X amount of dollars. So we contracted it out to where that money that I would have received, we just took that off the top of the consideration for the purchase of the business. So that was one of the only ways. I had to get very creative with being able to do that, because, like I said, I had almost no money at the time, and did a good bit of seller financing, which can be very sketchy if not done right, but it worked out very well for me. So yeah, that was definitely probably the best career move that I ever made was buying those businesses.
You enjoy it?
I do, man. I do enjoy owning a business. I enjoy having employees. I enjoy, I don't know, managing people. It's one of those things, and I've kind of always been this way. I train people a lot now at my job that I'm currently at, even though I've only been there a couple of years. I've trained 4 people already. Even when I'm back to my law practice days, I really did not enjoy practicing law almost at all, but I always had a intern here or there. Ryan Hand, remember, he interned for me for a very brief period, had a couple of interns. Even though I didn't enjoy day-to-day practice of law, I really enjoyed teaching them how to practice law. So that's one of the things that it's always been rewarding to me. So,
do you think we should take you, put you behind the camera, and turn you into the next Tate?
The next Tate?
Andrew Tate.
Do I know Andrew Tate?
He's have you seen him lately?
No.
So I just keep watching and been sliding into YouTube. There's a guy named Andrew Tate, and he is like
let's get a picture of him.
Can we pull up Andrew Tate? But he's like got banned off Twitter. He's like an ex-MMA fighter.
So you're trying to turn Josh into Kanye.
And he started this
I'd pay to see that fight.
He became a teacher to like more of like a male audience. Started this like internet school for
like Gary Vee.
Hustler University, what it's called, and made hundreds of millions of dollars.
This guy. Or there's a picture of him smoking a cigar too. Yeah. He's have a good PR guy.
Are we sure that's not Pitbull? Because that's what it looks like to me.
I don't know much about
Mr. Worldwide.
Andrew Tate. Is he really making it or is he faking it?
It's hard to tell
from
these
his
days.
It is hard to tell these
Yeah.
days.
They said he had like
man.
100,000. I think his classes are like $50 a month, and he had like 100,000 people.
And it's just a bunch of people like the Will Smith movie Hitch, or the fat guy charging or teach me how to be cool.
Like he only brought up the teacher thing. I'm not making fun of. I'm just saying like the motivation of being an influencer.
Yeah.
But some of these guys out there, like the Grant Cardones, are good at teaching skills on how to like do real estate.
Yeah.
But they make billions.
Oh, at the bank, we used to pay for these massive, speakers to come in at all of our conventions. Isn't telling how much they're paying these guys. $100,000 to come do a motivational speech to the people who are yawning and hungover, barely listening.
Could we find a way to get Josh to do a conference?
Yeah, we could if we wanted to. We can do anything we want. Just so you know,
anything you put your mind to.
anything. This is America.
The fact that you found this smoke screen business and how to get smart about it, and you said you did a lot of research and you figured out how to buy it.
Yeah, because at that time, and this was another reason that I was able to buy it, and the money made sense, was because a lot of people were scared off because everyone was under the impression that the FDA was going to shut it down, like, pretty immediately, and they're still trying, believe me, because it's taking money away from the tobacco companies, but it's survived this long. And the way that I set it up, luckily it worked out for me, but the way that I set it up was so that it could be paid off within a very short amount of time. And so if it only lasted up, I can't remember what my date was, but it was 4 years or so, the investment would have been worth it to me. And here we are, I don't know, six or 7 years in. And so everything after that has just been gravy, man. And it's been great. So it's given me a lot of freedom. So it's one of the reasons I was able to fish so much. Really, the only reason I was able to fish so much during that period. And really, to be honest with you, I'd still just be doing that and living off of the business were it not for my beautiful daughter. She came along and I was like, I'm comfortable.
And she just caught her first fish.
She did just catch her first fish.
Tell me about that. Let's talk about it.
So
how did what happened? Set the scene. Set the scene.
Oh, there it is. How about that, man? It was so cool. So that's at my in-laws, my wife's parents' house over in Pass Christian. And you see that thing behind me is it's like a goldfish pond. They have a beautiful piece of property. It's like 4 acres, but it's like a little small goldfish pond with a pump in it that runs down to a bigger pond. And that top one just has a couple of, pretty good sized brim in it, but it's real small. And I have this little brim pole that's about this big that I used to use a lot for catching. You and I have speckled trout fish off your Uncle Richard's.
I've got one of them too. Yeah, I bought one because you had yours, and I was like, well, if Josh has one, I need one too.
It's just fun. I mean,
At least you're honest.
yeah. If there's only little speckled trout around, okay, I'll go get my little pole.
Even the white trout.
Yeah, white trout. So anyway, I gave her that, and so I put a little beetle spinner on there, a little artificial bait, and I threw it out there and had her in front of me. I was kind of doing it, but her arms were around it, and as soon as I started reeling, a fish hooked, and she was trying to reel it, and she got about halfway in, and then she was like, "Ugh, I can't do it." So I helped her, and I pulled it up, and if it's a brim, so it's only like this big, and I held it up, tried to get her to hold it, and that was a no-go.
She went on the business there.
Yeah, that was a no-go for sure. But no,
give it a little more time.
It was very, very cool for me, man. It was something I'll never forget for sure.
Well, I think if you keep it up, you'll be able to take her fishing, and she'll probably change her mind on it.
Without a doubt. Yeah. She's definitely going to be coming fishing with me.
So are you working for the actual shipyard, or are you a contractor?
No, yeah, I work for Ingalls. In their contracts.
Is it hard to get on there to be on the actual company?
It can be. I know it definitely takes a long time. Nothing around there happens very quickly, but it's actually kind of a strange story how it actually ended up there. So when I found out my daughter was coming along, I said, okay, so I've got this income stream over here that I'm living comfortably off of. I wasn't balling out of control or anything, but like we're making a living, doing fine. And found out my daughter was coming along, and I said, okay, well, kids are expensive, and also I would like her to not have to pay for her college. So I need to figure out a way to make some more money. I said, okay, I'll go get a grown-up job as well. So I started thinking, and I'm thinking about what I think are my qualifications, right? With a law background, with my business broker's background. And I say, okay, well, there's really not that many companies on the Mississippi Gulf Coast that need somebody with my expertise. There's just not. So I started thinking, all right, what are the companies? Ingalls being one of them, obviously. So I thought, who'd I know at Ingalls? And like most things work, word of mouth, who you know.
Absolutely.
So I called up my buddy Jeremy Hebman, and the pure reason was to just ask him, hey, I know you've been out there a long time. Is this something I should look more closely into, exploring? And when I called him, we started chatting, catching up, and I told him what was going on. And he said, man, actually, this is like pure luck that you called me. He said, I actually need somebody, and I think you'd be a perfect fit to come work with me in the contracts department. So that's how that all started. And it took a while. Because
Jeremy Hedman, another St. Martin.
Another St. Martin. Yeah. St. Martin Elite. So that's how it ended up working out. But yeah, I've enjoyed it, man. It gets to, I get to kind of use some of my law background. Long term? It could be. For now, I enjoy it, and we'll see what happens.
What's your hours of work?
So I usually work like 7:30 to 4, 7:30 to 3:30.
So you don't have to fight that traffic.
No. And we have our own, like I said, I don't work in the shipyard. Yeah. So we have our own parking lot.
What's the best thing to eat out there?
There's a Chick-fil-A in the shipyard.
What?
So, yeah, there's a Chick-fil-A in the shipyard. So
this top secret information. You're supposed
to. No, absolutely not. There's about 10,000 people that know it because there's 10,000 people that work on it.
You know about this?
I feel I've heard it before.
Yeah, there's a Chick-fil-A in there. I've only been to it a few times because it takes 20 minutes to get there from my
That's
office.
The best. Nothing's better than out there.
Oh yeah. I mean, there's a little cafeteria out there, but it's, it's fine. But yeah, well, usually if we're going to go into Chick-fil-A, which I've only done a couple times, we go snag one of the golf carts because the offices have golf carts, and then we'll go ride it down there and go grab some Chick-fil-A. Good stuff.
So other than that, are you bringing lunch? Are you leaving for lunch? You got Ari packing you notes?
I leave for lunch a couple times, once or twice a week. Usually it's one of those days where I've just had enough and I'm like, I need to get the hell out of here.
What's the spots over there? Ed's? Drive over to Ed's? Or?
You would think so. I have not ate at Ed's for lunch.
I shame you for
that. I go to Burrito Zone.
Dude, I love burritos.
Brady's, man. Brady's is a good one.
Brady's is good. I've been there too.
Go get shrimp tacos.
I've never been to the Gautier.
Gautier one hits.
No.
It's the same people, but it's just a different I lived in Hickory Hills for 8 years, and my match store I've been having since 2015 on Highway 90. Mm-hmm. So I started eating New York pizza, Burrito Zone.
Where's the Burrito Zone over there?
It's on Highway 90.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. It's right across.
I'm never really over there much.
Y'all keep talking about Burrito Zone. I gotta go. Too many beers.
Yeah, go ahead. What's your go-to at Burrito Zone? Because I've been changing it up.
To tell you the truth,
I got a bowl last time.
No, I ain't doing a bowl.
I did. It was the first time I ever did it. It was good.
I do double meat. I do steak and chicken, extra jalapenos, rice, beans,
queso,
a little more jalapenos.
I normally do the tacos, 3 tacos. Vacation was good. We did Dollywood. We rode some rides. We went to the Dixie Stampede, yeehaw, and that was actually a big production. Actually, we need to do a whole podcast on just the Dixie Stampede. I'm pretty sure Matthew's take of the Dixie Stampede. Food? The food was okay.
Did you like the big turkey leg?
No, the food at the Dixie Stampede was a like a rotisserie chicken, except I think it was a Cornish hen. And then there was a biscuit.
Garrett, could you pull up Dixie's Stampede?
Dixie Stampede. Okay, so it used to be the North versus the South, but that was too unwoke. So now they did the North Pole versus the South Pole. But Dolly Parton owns it.
Doing that for Christmas?
Yeah, I think they've changed it too, but I don't know. This is the first time I've ever been. But Dolly Parton owns it, and it's just like this big pit. Okay, yeah, they have a nights one. They did some Christmas stuff, but it's like a pit with sand in it, and there's stadium seating going all the way around. Okay. And then they just do these productions, and I don't know how much these people get paid, but they're acting.
Appreciate it, bud.
It reminds me of do you remember the Will Ferrell movie where he played basketball? Tropic Thunder? Or was it that wasn't Tropic Thunder, that was is it semi-pro?
Yeah.
Okay, semi-pro. You remember whenever all the basketball players had like the outfits on where there were the flowers? And
halftime show.
That's what this reminded me of the whole time I was there. Like, it was pretty intriguing. But the only time I just kept thinking about like how much do these guys get paid to be putting on this production, and are they outsourcing talent? Are they bringing people in? Are these just like Tennessee's finest dancers and horse riders or whatever? Similar to a cruise. I don't know if you've ever been on a cruise, but
Matthew, you need it.
I'm good for now. On the cruise, they have the shows every night, and they've got these dancers and stuff that are, they're getting paid to work that. So I feel the same way about the Dixie Stampede. There was probably like, I don't know,
I went when I was young.
40 people
I
working.
mean, but they weren't as good as whenever you and I did karaoke on the cruise.
No,
Sure.
no,
But I
absolutely.
went there when I was younger. But now I'm thinking a lot of people that, go to school for theater, this is an opportunity.
Yeah,
to
yeah,
see.
yeah. That's what I was
So it's
thinking
like,
too.
this is how they get their work in, they're practicing, and they make a few dollars. So when people are on vacation, because it's all tours.
It wasn't cheap. It wasn't. I think it was probably 50,
I'm
60
telling
bucks
you,
a ticket.
I'm pretty sure there's
on,
got to be
Gatlinburg?
some people.
Yeah, for the Dixie Stampede.
Oh yeah.
It smelled like animals in there. I was not
I bet you somebody from
stoked on that.
Yellowstone used to work there. An actor in Yellowstone probably worked.
Are you fact checking this? Or
I don't know. We got Garrett.
Garrett, don't fact check that.
yeah, I don't know. Garrett's probably on it already. He probably knows.
Don't fact check that because we know
John Lowry was actually a bull rider.
Well, so my mom we got a condo in like 91 in Gatlinburg, the old Gatlinburg, because
I've never been to Gatlinburg. So I
DJ
don't know
Voorhees'
the whole Gatlinburg.
DJ Voorhees' grandpa is like one of the developers of that ski resort.
Okay.
So
Ober?
his dad
Is
married,
there skiing in Gatlinburg? I didn't even know.
There's called Ober Mountain,
Yeah.
Ober Gatlinburg.
and it's kind of like the 1980s style. Like it's
small potatoes. I mean, that's where I learned how to ski, or whatever you call that. Started skiing, and then we went to Colorado for the first time, and I was like, "This is fake skiing." What did I think I was doing?
But it was just, it was what my parents can afford then. We eat sandwiches. It's a one.
That's us, right? I
around the
mean, we
stream,
grew up going
but
up
we're
there.
in the downtown part. And then I just watch it come up. I mean, it's a lot more Amish, small town Gatlinburg used to be. And then all of a sudden, as seen on TV, got a hook of it, tourists. I mean, Pigeon Forge was small. Like Dollywood didn't have like a lot of rods. I used to go to Dollywood when it had a few rods. Now it's got like massive.
I've never been.
It was actually some of the rides were dope. I will say we went on a good day because there wasn't a lot of people there. We did not wait in any line. We rode everything as many times as we
You can't
wanted.
beat Dollywood during Christmas with the lights.
I mean, you can probably beat it.
They had the lights.
No, the way Dollywood's massive. Like it's like a Disney World. Dolly Parton's work, like Dollywood is.
It's crazy to see the investment that lady's made into that town.
It's got
She
trains around the mountains.
She could run for mayor and probably win. Like, yeehaw.
Isn't she already the
I
mayor?
think, yeah. Of Titty City.
Yeah.
But she's got her name on everything there. And she's 80-ish old.
70. I don't know. She's pretty old. Yeah.
But
it's a lot larger than people like.
they're building onto the part now. Like we rode this big tall ride, and I'm up at the top of it, and I'm looking, and they're doing.
She would take like she recreated like say like a Vu Marché over and over again, like old cars, 1950 cars, gas stations. She just recreated a town, and that's how it's like. It was just a town, like everything. There's like old. We still probably got the old restaurants,
Like Mayberry looking,
and then like theaters for people to watch, shows.
Mm-hmm.
So she just built a town,
Gotcha.
and then she started adding rides around the town.
But she does the book thing, which she's done for a while, which they give books away to kids. They've given away over 400 million books. I don't remember.
That's
numbers.
I used to love going there. I used to love riding the train.
We rode the train. I got some weird facts on the train. Cinderella, it was in the Civil War, that train. And then it says it burns 5 tons of coal a day.
That's pretty good bit.
That's a pretty good bit. And I'm like, where do they keep the coal? But someone's shoveling it in 24/7.
Did you get to eat any good places?
In there, or we actually have what's called a taste pass, I think, and you swipe it, and it's good for X amount of meals at certain places inside the park. Is actually the way to go. I think
that does sound kind of Disney World-esque.
it was very Disney World-esque, but it was legit, and we got.
I was saying, like in Gatlinburg, when you went up there, not Dollywood, but did you hit a pub or a restaurant? Or?
We did a couple different places, but I think Huck's was one of them, like a catfish joint, fresh Mississippi farm raised catfish.
Did you do Ripley's?
We did not do Ripley's.
I've never been a catfish guy, man.
No, it's too soft of a fish.
I'm just too spoiled, I guess, growing up down here eating saltwater fish. Like speckled trout and grouper and snapper.
You can't go wrong with a little ketchup.
I'm like, yeah.
You do a little ketchup there.
I mean, I'm not gonna turn my nose up. It's fine, but like, it's not something I crave ever.
I think Gatlinburg. I mean, there's a couple good places to eat, but like every time I go,
every time we would go anywhere, it was like a 2-hour wait.
Yeah.
So we just went where we got in.
we always ate sandwiches. You just make some.
We made some sandwiches. We made a bunch of sandwiches.
And plus, you're in bed pretty early when you're up there at Gatlinburg.
I
Depends on how you
wasn't.
play it,
Well,
I guess.
there's not a late night crowd though. Like
I was up early every morning. I woke up way more earlier than I would have if I was here, and we're an hour, I guess, ahead too. So, or is an hour? I don't know. There's an hour difference. But anyway, I was
I
up.
wake up early.
I was up at 6 o'clock every morning, which I think would have been 5 at home.
I wake up early all the time now.
Yeah,
it's very rare. Even if I'm out like drinking the night before or whatever, it's rare that I sleep past.
Isn't it worse though if you wake up with a hangover than if you? I don't know.
I don't know that it's worse, but I think just hangovers in general are getting worse. Period. No matter how long I sleep.
Yeah, liquid IV.
Yeah, it just doesn't matter. Doesn't matter what I do. Like I'm gonna wake up, but that's partially just I don't know, getting older. Also having the kid. You know, like
do you wake up like freaking like someone is trying to kill you? Like,
no, not often.
Because I still wake up like
no, I absolutely do. Still, that happened.
What happened?
You don't wake up like that. Like
that happened like God, I don't know, 2 or 3 nights ago. I fell asleep and for I don't know 10 or 20 minutes. I have no idea how long, but I woke up and my wife was still awake watching TV or something. I woke up and I was like, "Hey, are you all right?" She was like, "What do you mean?" I was like, "Is somebody trying to get in the house?" Like what? I was like ready to rumble, and she was like, "You're dreaming. Go back to sleep. Shut up." I think I do that a fair amount, but I really remember.
Yeah, I grabbed John that one night. Like she touched me or pushed me, and I woke up like, "You almost just got killed. They can't wake me up like that."
I hit Oliver's been going to bed. He goes to bed 8:30 and sleeps in his bed, but he's been waking up in 3 a.m. now and jumping in our bed.
Oh man, how's that
But
going?
he sleeps on my side. Last night, bro, his knees, foots. He uses my head as like a pillow, like grabs a pillow. Can't sleep. Like and I look over, Emily's like, we got a king. I look over, Emily's just, I mean, she is just cozy, wrapped up, and it's just me just like wrapped around my neck.
They say you got to enjoy those nights because they won't last long.
I'm dreading those nights, man. We've been lucky that we've been able to keep Emma like since she was very, very little. We put her in her own room, in her own crib, but she's just about figured out how to climb out of that thing. And when she does, I'm dreading it because we slept with her in the bed one night. It was Ari and I went to New Orleans to go have dinner and do something. And her parents live in Pass Christian. So we dropped him off on the way. We were like, okay, we'll go see this concert. We'll come back. Emma will already be asleep. We'll crash at y'all's place for the night and then we'll drive home in the morning. We get back over there at midnight, 1 o'clock, whatever. We're in the same room with Emma. So we put her in the bed with us and neither Ari nor I slept at all because she just never stopped. Just every 3 seconds, just kicking, whatever. So by like 3:30, 4 a.m., we were both awake. I look at her. I was like, you just want to just drive home? And so that's what I'm looking forward to is just both of us being up all night because she just never.
I would be scared I would just roll over and crush.
Yeah, we got a California king, I think.
Yeah, you just need I mean, I like I'm gonna.
Hey, Mattress guy, what's the difference between a king and a California king?
California king's like 4 inches wider on each side, I believe.
Okay.
Like width and length.
Yeah, I think it's a little shorter, wider.
Okay. Yeah, that sounds.
It's just wider, but
I'm not the mattress guy.
I don't know. Yeah. I didn't know. I'm trying to be.
I mean, I've sold a few of them. People that want California kings and they see the prices of California king sheets. You're paying an extra like 30% premium.
Right.
So, and they're hard to, you can't just go get them everywhere. Now you can get a little more, but like if you want a nice pair, like set, I mean, it's a little tougher. So
I feel like we should sell sheets. Probably untapped market there.
I'd love to, but no, you're going to enjoy it. With Oliver though, it's just like he kicks.
Yeah.
And it's like, it's been the last like 2 weeks. So it's getting rough now.
I don't remember sleeping in bed with my parents. Did y'all sleep in the bed with your?
I remember sleeping in the bed with my grandparents when I was a kid. I do remember that.
I did that too.
There. I had like
moo. You remember that moo-moos?
I remember. No. What?
They made you sleep in the moo-moo?
Don't remember. Like my grandma used to.
Oh, you mean? Oh yeah, absolutely.
My grandma had a moo-moo. Like my grandma had this, distinct smell to her.
My grandma had one with like poinsettia flowers all over it. Red poinsettia. Oh yeah, absolutely. I remember getting
grandma a smoker.
No. Well, on one side, on my dad's side, yeah, she was.
So my grandparents, Cedar Grove, and they
South Cedar Grove, baby.
Yeah.
Say what?
And they had their routine, but they're smokers. They smoke in bed, have a cup of coffee. They give me coffee and milk. I mean, I was hooked on coffee and milk as a kid.
Really?
But I remember like my mom would drop me off, and my mom would like take me to school in the mornings. But like she'd get me prep, like get my G.I. Joe kick in the morning, you know? Like, I do like 15 minutes hopping in the middle of their bed. And I think they had like the old fashioned full size. They didn't have no king. It was like, but yeah.
What about the generation where the husbands and wives slept in different beds, sleep in different beds?
We do that sometimes now.
Do y'all?
Yeah. And I love my wife dearly. She loves me. Sometimes I'm just like, yeah.
Is it because you're snoring or is it because you're.
That's part of it. She never argues because I snore so bad. But really, honestly, oh yeah.
Are you one of them like jet masks?
It's bad. But a lot of it is because I go to sleep way later than her typically, like way later, and I want to like watch TV or whatever, and so I'll just go in the other spare bedroom and just go watch something and end up falling asleep sometimes. But a few nights a week. But
Do you have AirPods?
yeah, but I mean, I'm watching it on the TV.
I just remember, like, was it
AirPods don't
the
hook up
Dick
to my
Van
TV.
Dyke Show and Nick at Night, whenever they had 2 different beds
In
in the same room?
Yeah.
Kind of weird.
Yeah. No, we don't do that.
Marianne and Pete's dad did that. Right there by the catfish pond in Latimer.
Really?
They never had. I've never seen them.
Were their beds in the same room?
No, different. I mean, they did at one time have like a little together, but they always, they did have their little twins.
Push them together.
But I think
whenever
both
it's
of them
time,
had like
or
2 sets. So I think sometimes they
take turns. It's like a
sometimes
dorm.
they went to her room, sometimes they went to other room.
Yeah, my grandparents on one side, they had different bedrooms my whole life that I remember. But yeah.
Do you have one of them jet mask things like the?
No, so I have one of the mouthpiece things that's supposed to hold your jaw a certain way so you don't snore. I don't know if it works or not. I'm asleep whenever I'm wearing it, so I can't tell, but it's so damn uncomfortable.
You should probably record yourself.
Yeah, I'm
record
sure
Emily.
it's
She
bad.
snores loud as shit.
Really? I mean, I think everybody snores.
snore.
I snore when I'm really tired.
So John just said we did Caves Cove, Dixie Stampede, Dollywood, Titanic Museum.
Oh, I forgot to talk about the Titanic Museum. They have this water.
I've been to Titanic Museum. I'm okay with the other ones because Caves Cove is sick.
Caves Cove was sick. There was deer everywhere.
That's the first time I ever got to pet a deer.
Yeah,
it's Caves Cove. Yep, came up to me and like I had a little food. It was cool.
What kind of food you have?
It's like corn feed. You had to pay like a little back then. It was like a little packs.
They had signs everywhere that was like, stay 50 feet away. Don't feed the animals.
Oh.
They will kill you. And they didn't know that I was the
90s were a
killer.
little different though, because I remember like going to Gatlinburg and riding in my mom's Chevy Illumina, and there's 4 of us in the back seat with no seatbelts on, and nobody said anything.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah, a lot of times have changed. I was looking for bear. I didn't see any bear.
I'm pretty sure there's like a lot of signs now.
How many? Let me ask you this: how many scenarios did you run through in your head?
Oh, thousands.
You're walking past a tree and you go, if there was a bear behind that tree, how would I fight it?
I brought a gun.
Because that's the kind of shit.
And I brought
about.
2 knives.
That's the kind of shit I think about constantly.
I had my binoculars, my binos, and I had my butt call, my grunt.
You're trying
just in case I needed to get a cool picture of a deer.
Oh, okay. I thought we were talking about the bear thing. Just so you can confuse the bear?
I was luring them in, letting them thinking I was a deer, and then bah.
So you had a survival kit, pretty much.
Pretty much.
It's just one of those things. Like no matter how like soft we get as a people, like this morning, as a matter of fact, this morning I woke up at like 4:40 a.m. and was like, all right, I'm gonna go for a walk and try and get some exercise. And I'm walking through like kind of a dark portion of my neighborhood, and I'm running through a scenario like, what if 3 coyotes pop out of these woods? How am I going to fight them off? And I'm like doing this whole thing, and I'm like, what the fuck are you doing, dude? Like
that's an apex move. Not everybody has that instinct. Not everybody thinks that way. But if you want to maintain complete control of the situation, you have to at least think about it.
I guess.
So like, I
feel
tip
like
my hat to that.
I feel like it would have been a lot more useful like 400 years ago. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I always say I was born in the wrong generation.
Yeah,
anyway.
me too, for sure. Yeah.
Do you carry a knife with you when you jog?
No, I got my bare hands, baby. That's all I need.
Yeah.
Okay.
Cut through a lot of layers of skin with these fingernails.
When we go, we travel out or whatever, I definitely carry a knife and a gun.
Yeah.
Well, Emily carries a gun. I carry the knife.
I don't like going out of town without a gun.
Yeah.
I feel like, it's not that I want it on my person at all times. I just want it in the vehicle. You never know what you're going to encounter. God forbid I ever have to pull it out. But if you think it wasn't in my book bag when we were driving through Caves Cove,
Yeah.
Could be wild boars, wild bears.
I don't even have a handgun anymore.
But
hey, look, to each is their own.
Yeah. I probably should get one for the house, but
You can get a small, like an MP, I will say a good one.
lock it up.
MP.
no, that's what that's like what I think about first, honestly, with Emma. Every
Yeah.
decision in my life, every decision.
A
is
good one
the
would
kid
be
first.
though. It's my stepdad carries an MP bodyguard. They're about $400, and they're a 380
380.
with the crimson laser on it.
I'd have to get one of
Sweet.
those ones with like the handprint thing, like the lock next to, you know what I mean?
Super gangster, whatever it is, make sure it's
Yeah.
super gangster.
Well, yeah, it'd be gold plated, of course, like without question.
Like a 50 cal.
Yeah, like a Desert Eagle type thing.
Yeah, I mean, it happens when you become a dad. Like, I think a big part of me is like edges.
Edges?
Like the wrestler?
Everything here. Oliver's now he's 4.5. No, like a table edge.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Everything, bathtub edges. We went through.
Like reaching up.
Yeah, he like hitting his head and stuff.
Yeah.
Now he hits his head all the time.
I still hit my head. That ain't going nowhere.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't worry too much. I mean, I do, but
It seems like
I don't worry. No, I don't worry about that kind of stuff. I don't worry about that kind of, I'm like, oh, she's going to hit her head. Big fucking deal.
Yeah, kids are going to do that.
Life is hard. Life hurts. She needs to learn a lesson, but like, a gun or like, that kind of shit.
Don't leave.
That's not a lesson that you want to teach a kid on.
No, ever. I think with proper training and responsibility, I mean, we've all had it. We all handled it.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, I think that was one of the greatest things like my dad did for me whenever I was I think I was 8. He bought me a rifle and he was like, you're never going to touch this thing until I show you how to use it. And like I did the hunter safety and all that stuff, but like he taught me like, don't ever, it doesn't matter if it's loaded or not. Don't ever go in front of the barrel, like the proper way.
Never point a gun at somebody.
Yeah. Never point a gun at a person. It doesn't matter. Like just taught me the proper way to use it. And I think they gave me a respect for guns. Number one, I was, you're not scared of them. You know what to do with them. So,
and in today's society, that's minimum. Like, golly, we're in the few gun carriers that have had a gun training course or even a hunter's education.
Right.
Most people can go just get a gun and flash it, and that's how people get shot in the leg.
Yeah, absolutely.
So I'm not big on like everyday carry. I like home protection.
Yeah, I don't think I would ever be
I don't think so either. I see people that are out there, and I'm like, my first instinct is like, way to go, overkill. But like, let some shit pop off, and I might change my mind. I feel like this kind of, or if something pops off, I'll be hiding behind that guy.
I mean, every decade things change, but I mean, like, here's another thing too is, I mean, we can get tasers. I thought about getting some cool tasers. I've thought about that. I had one. It wasn't that good. It was cheap and it didn't last long.
Yeah.
My dad said he found some kind of taser. He wants to get it from my mom. It's non-lethal, but it shoots rounds.
What?
And you can load it. Garrett, can you pull it up? A non-lethal taser?
It's probably one of the ones
a gun.
Like a gun.
It's a gun.
I thought you meant like one of the ones the cops had.
No. I thought it was too until he showed it to me.
Have you ever been tased?
Yeah, I have. Actually, Brooks was probably there. We had a taser. It's one of those things when you're a young idiot and we had been drinking a lot.
Yeah,
and we were playing with a taser and tasing each other.
But
and that
I mean, I think mine was
dumbasses.
So we do.
I got tased.
Had to learn. Life's tough.
When you're a 15, 16-year-old boy, that's what you do. You're an idiot.
I got tased on a cheap one. Like my mom's stole it from her for a little bit, gave it back.
Yeah.
But like, like one of them cheap ones. And then I got tased by like a heavy duty commercialized one.
Big difference.
Different story.
Dude, I pissed myself.
Oh yeah.
Oh wow.
Yeah. Like, I mean, not like all the way pissed myself, but
a little bit of pee came out.
Yeah, my underwear, I just like soaking wet. It's like, okay.
Yeah.
I've always seen the ones that the cops shoot where like, and it injects, like it sticks to you. And I feel like that would be the worst, right?
Supposedly they say them have serial numbers, so if they ever shoot them, like
they know where it came out.
It's imprinted in your skin forever.
No, like
it changes your DNA.
If you shoot, this might be wrong. Roger could be a lot better help with this, but there's some out there that are like, if you shoot them with it, because each shot, because they're so lethal with the hooks, that what gun used that.
The taser,
because it does hook the back of your skin.
Is that how it works? I don't know.
And I mean, it's got bars.
It's like a one shot. You put it in, it's a cartridge.
Yeah. I saw Roderick. I mean, I guess this has been a little while now, but a year or two ago, just on the side of the road, I happened to pull over. There was me and my wife were driving. There was a turtle crossing the road. And my wife was like, stop. So I stopped and pulled the turtle out of the road. And then the blue lights start flashing in an unmarked car. And it was Roderick pulled up. And that was the first time I'd seen him in a few years. And I was like, this is the way we would run into each other. Me holding a turtle on the side of the road. Like, hey, man, what's up?
Drop the turtle. You having trouble over there?
I'm fine. I can hold it.
Everything's fine.
Yeah.
We're good.
I need to get it tightened down a little more. But no, Roderick's, yeah,
I'm proud of him, man. He won Officer of the Year.
Did he really?
Yeah, this is like 2 years ago, I think.
I
think he's got promoted to detective.
Good for him, man. That's awesome.
Yeah,
but he's still the hip hop cop to me, damn it.
Yeah, right.
Well, I still think he dances.
Oh yeah,
I mean,
he's never gonna stop dancing.
That's not something you lose, Jordan.
I think he was like his.
If you were skilled, you would know that.
I know I can't.
He has a dance company. It's like Chrono Kings.
All right.
Wait, I haven't. Is this on Facebook? I need to follow it.
That's Chrono Kings. Yeah, that's him and Kaylin have their own dance company. I've went out to the coast with them both, and they have like their own hip hop dance team where they go out and teach like Mardi Gras balls, people how to do hip hop, like numbers and choreograph.
Yeah,
choreograph.
Yeah, they're serious about it though.
Oh yeah,
man, I wish we had money to pay them to teach us, but like,
I just don't think I have moves.
Nah.
I just don't think I'm a.
I'd rather learn some other things first.
I had no
dance?
moves.
Can I dance?
I have no skills to dance.
I got like the
I can
white guy dance.
I mean, yeah, I can. Yeah, for your average white guy, I can cut a rug a little bit.
Do you have any signature moves that you go to every time, or
I tend to go back to the typical white guy. You know, the dice full is a good one. Now the spin, you know, spinning your old lady.
Yeah. I do that.
You know, the spin dip, that kind of thing.
I think a good one is the lawnmower. I remember hanging out with Patrick Johnson in high school. He always did the lawnmower.
Yeah. Okay.
It was Patrick Johnson. That was your move.
All right.
That was not a bad move though.
Yeah, that's. I mean,
which one's
my
the
dad always did.
lawnmower?
My dad always did the neck
The
move.
pull and the
Yeah. What was the neck move though? Like always.
Oh, I don't know.
This.
No, just always like it's like this.
I don't know. It's just bobbing your head.
You clearly know more than I gave you credit for. You know the names.
Neck moves. What was that show that came out a couple of years ago where So You Think You Can Dance? Was that it? Where they had all the hip hop groups dancing against one another? And they have a famous group where it's like they all wear the white mask. Jabba Wabba. Yeah, Jabba Wabba. It's a thing. It's like a ruckus gang. They're there. Deal with it.
So let me ask you this about the ruckuses. Were you inspired by the show Robin Big when they got ruckuses, or did that have anything to do with it?
I forgot they got ruckuses in that show. That was an awesome show.
When did they get it?
I have no idea. I mean, that show was 15 years ago.
So one of my goals, you say on the Lugger, mine's to have a Rob Dyrdek Fantasy Factory.
Here, can you find my ruckus?
That would be cool.
You need to put it on my ruckus. There's videos of me on the ruckus. That is a stock ruckus.
Oh, is yours tricked out?
Oh, it's definitely tricked.
How much you
What
got
do you
into
mean-
your
what do you mean
ruckus?
by that?
Not the one I bought. I think I got $3,000 in it, but the build was 12.5. But the Aqua
The build,
Fresh.
did you hear that?
Yeah, I heard
Oh
it.
no, Aqua Fresh is the first one I built. I probably have 11 in it, 12.
Aquafresh? You named it?
Oh yeah.
Like Excalibur? Like your
Oh,
sword?
it's got $800 in PPG gold pearl
I don't know what that is.
paint job. It's got like a lot of pearl in it. Like
All right, all right.
it's got an aqua color, and then when you drive, like the gold hits the side of it. I think I got third place at Scratch.
Is it slap?
And you got married? You had that thing at your disposal and you got married? What's wrong with you?
What?
You could be out there just wrecking shop.
You rode on this thing, you'd be like, huh?
No, that sounds. I'd love to ride on it. Let's go ride on it.
It was just fun to have like a because I had a crotch rockets and I got so tired of driving fast on crotch rockets. Like because everybody,
I'd be scared to death.
I am.
I've always rode though.
I rode. My mom used to have motorcycles for several years, and I rode her a little small. It was a Yamaha, one of those ones that looks like a dirt bike, but it's a street bike. You know,
Moto.
Yeah, it's like basically like the very beginner of actual motorcycles. I rode that thing. Now, granted, I have zero training and zero idea how to ride a motorcycle. I just hopped on it. I was like, oh, this is like a four-wheeler.
Yeah.
I went riding around our neighborhood and I was going around a curve going about, I don't know, 40, 45. And, you know, when it gets squirrely and you feel, I felt myself losing it and I was able to save it. And I slowed down and went and drove and parked it and was like, that was enough for me. Never again.
There's your ruckus.
Yes.
Garrett found a picture of it.
That
So,
was the cruise in.
I felt the same way about the scooters. That you
In
talk,
Colorado?
but which I've now ridden in every city that has
listen to that.
scooters.
Those things are awesome.
That was a night. That was a day. A couple days after we had Royal on, and we got our hats. Where's that white hat I had? You have your red one.
Yeah, I saw it
lost
yesterday today at the office. But yeah, so the scooters, I'll never forget that. Like you came in and woke me up one morning and you're like, Bruce, get up. And I'm like, I just went to bed, leave me alone. And you're like,
I don't think I had been asleep.
and you're like, no, come on, we're going to ride scooters. And I was like, huh?
What? Yeah, no, that was awesome, man. That was a great trip. It was young Garrett's bachelor party.
Shout out young Garrett. But I was hooked. I got out there. Me and Josh are on these electric motorized scooters.
And Mike Graham, our boy Mike Graham.
Yeah, Mike came with us too. And we're riding through downtown Denver, basically.
Yeah, we
And
went rode through the parks and
these things
all
go
over.
20 miles an hour.
Yeah.
So
Those
you can get the
scooters.
squirrely feeling. And he was just talking about on the motorcycle on this. And I did at one point. I get on it. And the first thing I told Josh was like, well, you can definitely get a DUI on one of these. I'm sitting there trying to be sharp. But by the end of it, we're doing scoot tricks.
Oh yeah, we were doing jumps, goofy shit
Well,
again.
but you
boys
also
being
got to
boys,
know
man.
like certain areas to ride on the road.
Well, we were in the bike lane and on the sidewalk.
Oh, so you wasn't on the road.
Yeah, we weren't. No.
Might
They
have been
only-
in
they
the
only
road
go-
on some side roads.
Yeah,
or
I
something.
mean, we were crossing, but they're the little lift scooters. They go 18 or 20 miles.
Now, last time I was in Colorado, I rode them again, and there was another company. It's called maybe Lime. Same idea, same
same
premise.
as-
You were on the search.
Yeah, no, I'm a scooterist now, or
Dude,
whatever you would
they're
call
the
it.
way to go, man.
Yeah, it is so fun. I'm not even going to
And
bullshit you.
and
It's
they're
fun.
like a cheap mode of transportation too.
So these ones that I rode the last time, they actually knew where you were. Which they probably know where you are at all times anyway. But if you would go into like a trafficked area, heavy traffic foot area, it would slow you down and idle you.
Really?
Yeah, you couldn't exceed a specific. I know it took me a while to figure it out, like what's going on. My scooter's broke, but no, I finally figured it out. And then they had blocks where if you were to exceed the block, it would shut the whole thing down.
Really?
And you had to take it back into where you were allowed to actually.
Are these the scooters you see like a lot of videos of people throwing them over the bridge?
Yes. So what they are, it's a timeshare deal. Some big company, Lyft, Lime, or whoever's doing it, they purchased 100 of these things, and then they go put them out on the streets. You download an app, you scan it, you charges you by the minute. You get out there, you scoot for however long. There's no time limit. As long as it's charged, you can scoot. And then when you're done with it, you park it, you take a picture of it, and it charges you money, and you're done.
That sounds like fucking fun though.
It is.
I mean,
Absolutely.
I haven't been able to ride on one. I think Brandon Davis had that one wheel, which is similar.
It's similar,
right?
yeah. It's the same internal motor operate.
With my disability, I can't the balance. I want to ride that one wheel so bad, but I'm like,
I don't. Yeah,
I don't
that
think
scares
that
me.
shit, you know what I mean? Because he's like doing 25 miles an hour, and I'm like, no.
But these things, they're battery powered. So at the end of the day, they would hire somebody. They would ride around the pickup truck.
Yeah.
They just go pick up all these scooters, which they have the location where they're at, and they bring them to their house. They charge them the next morning. They wake up. They go put them out at the stops. And
Yeah, very, very cool, man. It wouldn't do much around here because
there's not a lot where to go.
everything's so spread out. Like,
Yeah.
I mean,
I'm gonna take this
it would be
scooter
good at
20
Ingles.
miles to.
It probably wouldn't be bad out at the beach. Somebody needs to open their game and do it.
It'd probably be good at Ingles though if you have that much. I mean, walking.
Yeah, but there's I guess security type things that they got.
I've never
set
been
out
on
there.
Ingles, so I don't even know.
You're not missing much, man.
I went out there for my dad worked out there. It was like
So it's not
family
like a
day or
Marvel
something.
TV show or anything like that. Where
You're not missing much. It's
There's
just-
not a testing area where they're making
are there
humans.
UFOs on that property?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, no, there's-
Technology. Do they have sea keepers in these big boats?
They don't. But Seakeeper is very, very cool technology. That's just
So
coming
what
out
is
in the
this?
past. So Seakeeper is essentially a gyrosphere that they put inside the hull of a boat, and they attach it to the stringers that run along the whole boat. And so what it is this big ball or sphere, I should say, that rotates in pretty much all directions. And what it does is keeps the boat stable. So
Shit.
when you're in a boat, you're going with the waves, right? And the boat's rocking and rolling or whatever. This thing has some sort of sensors. I have no idea how it works.
And it just rides straight through it.
Has some sort of sensors that keep it level. So whenever it feels the boat start to tilt this way, that little big sphere, big weight tilts the other way and counterbalances it out so that it stays more.
And that's
level.
like $50 million right there.
No.
They're
But
pretty
now
pricey.
They are pricey, but they're no.
100 grand, and probably
If you're gonna put one
in a
on,
boat like that, probably.
if you're gonna put one like that, yeah, probably.
Josh,
so.
I'm looking at you right now. I'm thinking like, what's the extra GL pack? You know, is it could you do an AMG to some of them destroyer boats?
I don't know what AMG means.
It's like a Mercedes top of the line performance package.
Upsell
yeah.
them. Do you want
There's-
fries with that?
Yeah, dude, there's different trim levels on vehicles. Do y'all do the same thing?
No. So there's like a baseline ship, right? And they change it every now and then. And of course, there's a lot of what I do on a day-to-day basis is doing changes to the ships. And when I change one, a lot of times we'll change that one and follows, which means all the ships
To come.
to follow, right? But then also the baseline changes every so often. So like right now, the big one we're working on is DDG 125, which is the first of the Flight 3 ships. And what that is, it's like newest capability, has crazy sonar, crazy weapon systems, crazy GPS. And they're really Congress and a lot of like very high politicians are pushing this because they want these in the fleet as soon as possible for conflict that's coming in the Asian Sea, the South. What's the
I don't
It
know.
would be the South Pacific. Yeah. Conflict.
So they need
But
these
how long
super
does
boats.
How long
So
does
they-
it take to make one of these things? I mean, it's
Uh,
start to finish.
Start to finish.
If you have your materials.
4 to 5 years. 4 to 5 years from like starting of engineering and fab to like the day it sails away. 4 to 5 years.
So we did the Titanic Museum, and part of it, the cool part about it, I never thought I would be talking about this on the podcast, to be honest. But they were showing the construction of the Titanic and the boat next to it, and how they started. One, the Odyssey was the name of it, and about 6 months after into working on that, they started this Titanic, and they had them in this huge bay, and they're sitting next to each other. But they said it was probably about 4,000 or 5,000 people that had a hand in building this one ship, like hands on. But they showed like a draft room also where they had all these engineers designing this stuff, which looked absolutely mad. Can you only imagine add 120 years of knowledge to that?
Oh, yeah. Yeah,
and like, yeah, they probably all have computers for one.
I was going to say they have computers and big, CAD machines and all that kind of stuff now. But
Chris says South China Sea.
Yeah, South Pacific. Yeah, that's what I was trying to say.
Okay.
So
do you think
that's one of those few beer things?
Yeah.
But I mean, we have. I mean, boat wise though. I mean, we got to keep building boats.
Yeah, at least until we figure out how to get along with each other, which I don't see happening anytime soon.
Some boats are smart though.
Do they decommission them? And when they do, like, is it a USS Alabama type deal where they put a big, or do they sink it somewhere and make nice artificial fishery for us?
I have no idea.
Do you know?
We need to be finding out.
Under Siege, what boat was that filmed on?
I don't know.
Ooh, good question.
That is a very good question. It was a destroyer.
An important boat.
It was a destroyer.
We find out where Under Siege was filmed on.
For those of you who don't
know. Actually, no, that was not a destroyer. That was an aircraft carrier. Now that I think about it.
Look, I'll go to Mobile, and I've been there several times.
Great movie, by the way. Just fantastic.
Once you jumped out of the cake.
Yeah, well, that and just
best part.
Seagal, man, had that movie on VHS growing up as a kid, so I saw that one many times.
Under Siege 2 was the train, right?
Yeah,
here it is. Here it is. What does he got? We got it pulled up. Mobile Bay. Was it filmed on? No way. It was filmed on the USS Alabama.
I've been on that boat so many times.
Saying, damn, I didn't know that. Dope fact right there. Steven Seagal's on the same boat as me. How about that? He also runs like a girl.
Yeah, he does. He definitely does.
No, does he?
Oh, yeah, he runs like this.
Yeah, Garrett, can you get a small clip of Steven? Just type in Steven Seagal runs like a girl.
Oh, yeah, it will come up.
It will come up. I've watched it. I've laughed.
You'll get a lot of hits on that for sure.
No, that's fascinating stuff because there's so much work that goes into them boats, them ships.
Yeah, I enjoy it, man. Like I said, it lets me use my law background, my negotiation background with Smoke Screen. I mean, I'm sorry, not with Smoke Screen, with Sunbelt before Smoke Screen, and but also I'm still getting to do the boat thing, which is in my blood. So I enjoy it.
Here we are. Got him.
Yeah, look at that.
What?
We kind of got some connectivity issues. Maybe that's just on our end. But yeah, he runs very much like a girl. Also in that clip, he's very slender and has a ponytail. So there he goes. There it is. There it is. Yeah. It's hard to look tough when you're running like that, man.
He actually did a lot of running now that I'm watching this.
So much running. Oh, what movie was that?
I remember this one. That was the one where he was in a coma for a while, and then he came. I don't remember the name of the movie, but he came out of the coma and had to like retrain to be a badass.
Could you imagine having to retrain to be a badass? It'd be a lot of training.
Like one of my favorite movies.
I feel like I'm just reaching my peak, and
I'm growing my hair out so I could do that pony right now.
When was the last time you watched Best of the Best?
I don't know what that is.
With Eric Roberts, where they had the U.S. team.
Like Gladiator?
No, Best of the Best, the karate team that went over Team USA.
I remember the Gladiator. American Gladiators.
Yeah.
Dope show. Bring it back. I would go on it right now. Probably get embarrassed, but
Garrett,
I would
pull up just a clip. Just pull up Best of the Best, like
Best of the Best.
A DVD cover or a thumbnail.
This was like the Olympic team, or
yeah, this is Best of the Best. Who else was in there? I watched it not too long ago because Eric Roberts weren't like
Eric Roberts.
It's Julie Roberts' brother.
Oh, I didn't know.
Okay,
you know who this guy is.
I hope. I want to.
Best of the Best.
So was this a movie?
No recollection of that.
This was a movie.
Yeah,
I thought this was like an actual
$5. Buy it. Let's just watch it real quick. It's $5.
I have it.
I thought it was actual team of karate badasses that you were talking about.
Yeah, Eric Roberts in the middle. You don't remember Eric Roberts?
I can't see. That's a very small
Is that
picture.
Chung Lee to the right from Bloodsport?
I don't
No,
remember.
absolutely not.
Okay, I've got a bad angle.
Let's just search Eric Roberts, Garrett, because I can't believe you don't know who Eric Roberts is. Kind of sad right now.
Eric Roberts, only Julia Roberts' younger or older brother.
He was popping off in the 90s, right around Steven Seagal, and then kind of just.
I was a Steven Seagal purist.
Yeah,
Back in the 90s.
we're strictly 80s Joel, sir.
He did a lot of. They had a lot of good movies back then, though. Like I'll tell you what, I love growing up in the 90s because of the movies.
There were some really
Like,
bad.
They don't make
I
them
give
like
a
that
shit.
anymore.
Three Ninjas.
They still do make really bad movies, though. I know I sent probably both of y'all this, but Cocaine Bear is coming out soon.
Yeah.
That-
I would
just
definitely
looks-
go watch it.
That looks spectacularly horrible.
So that's based
I'm
on a
really
true
excited about
story, actually, that really happened.
it. I'm
And,
really excited about that one. It looks so bad.
and then they hired a bunch of D-list. Actually, there's some decent actors, some recognizable actors that are in
So
it.
you know,
it's like Eric Roberts right here. You know,
I looked up. God, I can't remember her name, but you would totally recognize the director of that movie.
you
Is
don't know Garrett. It's
Zach
okay.
and Miri Make a Porno? You know that movie with Seth Rogen?
Yeah, that
Yeah.
was Mike Judge, wasn't it?
Okay, so the main character, the girl, the blonde,
Yeah.
she's in a lot of movies. She's
Yeah.
the director of Cocaine Bear.
Oh, really?
Yeah. and it's
So
got
anybody can
Ray
direct
Liotta
now.
in it. I mean, it's like
Yeah, and that's what I said. There's big names in it.
Judd Apatow.
Judd Apatow, yeah.
He was like the Simpson guy.
no.
I think he was in The Simpsons back in the
He
day.
used to be a writer. No,
He
he
used to
was
be a
Right,
writer.
right.
Yeah.
I like
A lot of these guys, it's like the whiskey family tree. They trickle down from a writing source. Like
Eric Roberts is from Biloxi. Holy shit!
What? Is that Garrett's little way that he can tell us things?
Yeah.
Wait, Julia Roberts is from Biloxi?
I don't know.
No. Eric Roberts, her brother, right? I've learned all this in the past 5
I'm
minutes. so
very
I'm
confused. It's
expert.
very foggy. Don't cite us here, ladies and gentlemen. But if we
That's
can get him
fine.
on the
Hey,
show,
hey guys, guess what? You're learning something here now.
yeah, that's right. That's
Garrett's
right.
got you. You want to learn something? You watch our show.
Ask Garrett a question. He's got it.
Eric Roberts. What else movies was he in, Garrett? That was like
He's been in Suits. He was in. Let's just list them right there. They're kind of small. I can't really read it. He's in something recent. Was he in Kill Bill? I don't know. Oh,
Best of the Best
the
too.
best of the best too. You didn't
Top
even know
Gunner?
about it? Okay, that's not Julia Roberts' brother.
It is.
Are you sure?
Yeah, 100%.
He was in a movie with Stone Cold?
He was in Batman, The Dark Knight.
Yeah.
He was.
I think he's always played a bad guy
Well, I mean,
in the movies that I remember him in.
if you're in his shoes, let me ask you this question.
Okay.
If you're in his shoes, appreciate it, Garrett. Thank you. None of us can see any of this shit. The listeners can. But if you, let's say you were Eric Roberts and you got offered parts in like Dark Knight and you're like, you had to play the villain, but you had screen time, but you've been acting for 20 years, 30 years.
And you're a good guy most of the time?
Yeah, would you just do it?
Yeah.
I would do it. I would do every movie.
I would want to expand my, I guess, role and not be necessarily narrowed and pitted into one. You know, I don't want to be the bad guy all the time. I would want to be a good guy, bad guy, an extra.
Think about this, like John C. Reilly.
Yeah, he's extreme.
He was played in so many movies.
Serious.
He was the guy in Days of Thunder.
He was never a comedy actor until
He's
later
always
on in
like
life.
He was always that background guy.
And then all of a sudden, boom, he came out with was it Talladega Nights or one of the movies with Will Ferrell.
It was Talladega Nights. Then they went to Step Brothers.
And then all of a sudden he was in several comedies. Now I think he even writes and directs. So that's back to like, you know, people get into it and then they want to experience more. They don't just want to necessarily be the person saying something.
If I had
They don't
talent to
have
be an actor, I would
influence.
try to be in every big film. If I had like a one-liner, I'd love to
Just be that guy.
Yeah, like to get one-liner. Like,
You can do it.
Yeah, exactly. Rob Steiner.
Like I would be okay with being like, look.
Yeah.
Love it. So I want to switch gears for a second here and talk about something
Okay.
something real and important. And this interests me because of my background I own a business and when I was doing business brokerage. We haven't talked much about it. Brooks pertains to both of y'all, but Brooks, because we haven't seen each other as much the past year or two. Tell me about starting your own business, man. How's that's going?
With some hair's falling out.
Insurance. Well, if it's not, you're not doing it right.
That's right. It's more of a gear that I'd never found before.
Yeah.
And
I can
if
say
that explains it,
it does, but that's because I know you so well because we've been best friends for 20 years. But I've definitely seen that in you for sure. And I hate to make your head bigger than it already is, but I will say that I'm proud of you, man. I've seen you that you're actually, I've never seen you like put your full effort into anything in life.
But it hits different,
Yeah.
I guess, when it all comes home. You know, when your reputation's on the line, and it's always been that way. You know, I've never really taken my job lightly. You know, I've always been pretty good at it.
Yeah,
but it is that
you've done it well. But
it's that type of job that you can.
Yeah.
But whenever it comes down to the order of things, and I guess the meticulousness of building a slide, and I'll say that because that's kind of my motto I've been using, and that would be like the start or the procurement of a customer all the way down to the completed sold policy. You know, I want it to be smooth, and figuring that out has been very, I guess, I wouldn't say challenging, but just tedious.
Yeah.
And that's where that extra gears came from. You know, I've done it for a long time. I've done it for other people that have done it the right way. So I was able to kind of take something and have a head start or a blueprint at it, but you still got to find your own way in doing it. And in that show, you know, there I had other people that were doing a lot of it for me. So now here I am building it. It's been fun.
Yeah,
it's been rewarding.
Yeah, it is. It's one of those things, man. And I tell all my friends, like a lot of people ask me because of, again, I guess because of my like prior career experience with law and with business brokerage and all that stuff. People ask me a lot whenever they're considering doing new business ventures. They call me for free advice. And that's one of the things I always tell people is bet on yourself, man. Like 100%. Like,
one of my only regrets is not doing it sooner, but you know, everything happens for a reason. I wasn't ready then. Yeah. And I mean, we're rolling now. I think I just thought I said probably sold 10 policies today.
I think the big thing is also too is, and you know this, even if you're in the same shoes. I mean, when you work for yourself, I mean, you have to do it.
Yeah.
Like, you know, no matter what, like, and there's like days, there's days that are good days or days where like shit. I mean, there's days where it's like overwhelming, especially when, like you said, like, you know, us going into like building the business model of how we want everything. Like we're talking on the phone today, going back and forth. How should we make sure that we know when our next policies come up, expiration dates, all that stuff's important to us because a lot of insurance companies, and I'm not saying every insurance company, but a lot of them will miss on a lot of these policies because they will forget to set a reminder, the expiration date's coming up. Yeah. And so we want to be able to have that.
We want to be better than that.
And we want to reach out and be able to like shop our clients.
Yeah.
And that's a goal. Like but that's a process. You're building that whole thing. I think that's
so I've been very fortunate in, I guess, Loyal Book for one. That's kind of helped set the ability to do now. So, but we're building out another building right now. We're growing. Really? Yeah. We're doing a renovation on Howard Avenue.
And we're getting face tattoos.
Eventually. That's the goal. Not really. But I feel like once you have that, nobody's messing with you. You know, you're taking people's extra fries and you're cutting in line when you want.
We've been doing that since day one, man. We didn't need face tattoos for that.
No, but it's a level of success to where, you know, as if you're doing it right, nobody can take it from you. People want to be with you.
I'll tell you this though, Josh, this is something that we've seen. Like, look, this is 3 years of us doing this show. This show is not this. We always say podcast second. This is us showing up. Like when the commitment of like, we treat the same way with the insurance of like, we got these goals, you know.
That's why I don't ever want to be stagnant. I don't ever want to be to where I'm like, hey, this is it. I'm comfortable. Yeah. I always want to, and that's not going to be the truth. Sometimes I'll be stagnant, but I want to start
regressing.
Yeah, I want to and that was one shift that we made into jumping in this new building. And I was just like, oh man, like, let's keep rolling. Let's keep this train rolling. You know, it's only going to get better and better. And a record year ever in 10 years in insurance. So
that's awesome.
Yeah.
That's great.
I was looking at the, like, you know, when I started doing cleaning when I was like 19, when I started janking, and I was looking at like, I just can't wait till we get to the point of like being on that fourth year where it comes second nature. Mm-hmm. Like it kind of just starts like with your shops. Like you just, it becomes like a part of you. Mm-hmm. Like everything's working where it's
I can't wait to unplug and go fishing every day. Yeah, I'm working my way out.
That's the ultimate goal.
Yeah, no, I know that's 20-year plan. 20-year plan.
With your shop now, knowing your shops, and it's kind of like it's a part of you now.
Yeah,
like Smoke Screen is a part of you. You know how to put these certain fires out. You know how to.
Yeah,
you know the shop.
And I've been, man, I'll say it again. I know I said it earlier, but I've been extremely fortunate. I have some some really good people that work for me. One in particular, my business manager, Misty, who's been
Shout out Misty.
yeah, shout out
We will plug you
for sure. Who's been like monumental for helping me do this. Cause otherwise, especially now that I've really, it was always the plan for when I bought the place was for me to eventually phase myself out. But now I got to the point where, like I was explaining earlier, where I had a kid and I was like, okay, I want to get another revenue stream. And so she'd have to pay for college and all that kind of stuff. And so I've really stepped myself out. And like I said, now whenever I like, hey, did you do this? She's like, yeah, I did that a month ago. I'm like, okay, yeah, all right.
I can't wait for that.
Yeah. She run all your stores?
Yeah, she's the manager over the Gulfport location, but she's also just the business manager in general. She's the manager over all of them. So we've kind of got to the point now where if any of the employees need something, you know, always try to
let Missy handle it.
Well, I always try to stop in it. I always try to just make sure that they know that, like, look, because you know how it is, man. Everybody's different.
Do you pick the flavors?
Everybody's different. Not anymore. No, I mean, sometimes.
Did you get to a point where you were like that though, where you got?
Yeah, sometimes I would test stuff and go, yeah, I like that one. Let's get that for a while. But now I'm not around enough for that. But no, yeah, everybody's different, man. So nowadays it's just I try to make sure my people know that, look, if you're for whatever reason not comfortable talking to your direct boss, I guess who would be Missy, and you need to reach out to me, by all means, here's my cell phone number, call me, like text me, whatever. But that happens very, very
But
rarely.
are you him? Are you that one guy? Just you doing Smoke Screen?
What do you mean?
It's your shops, just you.
Yeah, I mean, I'm the sole owner. Yeah.
Well, that's cool that you do that you reach out, like you let her like handle that, let Missy have it.
Oh yeah, she runs it day to day now. Like for the past 2 to 3 years, like without question, she runs the shit.
You think you're gonna expand?
No, we actually looked at the medical marijuana stuff that's becoming legal here pretty soon. I looked at it very, very heavily, read all the regulations, and that would have been my next move. And to be honest with you, were it not for the place I'm in life right now, like with my daughter made me much more risk averse. Like I said, 5, 6, 7 years ago, I was like, yeah, risks, let's take it. What do I got to lose? Now I've positioned myself to where that's not the case. So if it would have been 5, 6, 7 years ago, yeah, I probably would have jumped on it. But after looking at it, it's just too risky to me. The money that's going to need to be invested to do it right is going to be pretty substantial. That wouldn't be a problem. I could come up with that, but I think there's going to be a lot of businesses, unfortunately, that fail in that market. It's going to be a gold rush type.
No doubt. There's no doubt.
Everybody's going to be rushing to do it.
Or
and,
that
a lot of them are
already
going to
in
fail.
it. They're already in it. It's politics.
Exactly.
So they already have the people already in it.
There's a lot of people nationwide that are in it and know the recipe and know how to do it and have the right connections. And
So
they will more than likely be the ones that succeed. And there'll be a lot of people that fall by the wayside. And, you know, there will definitely be a lot of people in the state of Mississippi that make a fortune off of medical marijuana, but I won't be one of them because I'm not willing to take the risk.
and the investment that you're talking about, you know, you could always go back and look at another potential, I guess, return and buy another business, acquire something else with that, with a lot less headache, a lot less involvement.
This one is not the opportunity for me in particular. And I've looked at it very, very extensively. I read the regulations quite a few times. I ran a bunch of numbers and it was one of those things where I did it. I read the regs when they came out. I ran a bunch of numbers, you know, a lot of it was hypothetical. You can only forecast so much, but I was like, yeah, I don't think this is the right move. And then a few months went by and I said, I don't know, man, maybe I need to go look at that again. And then I went and did it again and got the same result. And I've gone through that song and dance a few different times and it all led me back to the same result every time, which was,
could you
get a bigger boat?
It's not the right move.
But so you couldn't could you do vape and weed or no?
No.
So there's gonna be a lot of rules
because of the way the regulations are. No, you cannot do that. It has to be
everything I've seen is like you either got to be a grower, you got to be a seller, you got to be a transporter, but you can't be.
There's too many rules for marijuana.
There's too many rules in life, period. You know, back to being born in the wrong generation. You know, don't tell me what to do. Don't tell me what I can and can't go.
Legal. I don't know. I just don't get it. Like I look at it and think of stuff like, geez, like, I mean, when it comes to weed, it's like
it's a revenue maker, man.
I know, but it's too many rules for it. And this is like where I know with me having cerebral palsy and like, I know I can get get the medical card, whatever. But it still should be like, it shouldn't be so hard for you to be like, hey, you know what? Smoke Screen's going to switch in and we're going to sell some marijuana now.
Yeah, well,
because that's a good revenue for a small business.
At least we're getting there, man. Got to crawl before you can.
True that.
We got another 20 years.
Well, hey guys, thank you all so much for tuning in. It's been an hour and a half.
Yeah. Well,
We need the time out so we can still be creative
I
here.
enjoyed it. We went all over
Yeah.
the board and talked about nothing and everything.
That's exactly what our show's all about here.
That's the idea,
Kathy
right?
and Susie's
Yeah,
kids.
that's
So
the
yeah,
idea.
cheers. Josh, it was a pleasure having you,
Hey,
brother.
Garrett, can you send us out? We love
Yeah,
you.
Garrett, we love you too,
And
man.
guys, check out Smoke Screen. Their location is Gautier, Gulfport,
And Long Beach, yeah.
and Long Beach.
Yep.
Get that vape on.
Or join the Navy.
Don't do that.
We'll be holding the vape